What's up, everyone? And we are live for another episode.
Oh,
What?
you went into the Matrix for a second.
Uh,
Right off the bat. That's how we're starting the show today.
oh,
Right
that's
off the
just
bat.
great. It's finals week.
Yep.
Uh, just great. Just great.
Either way,
Yeah.
welcome to Spin from the Real. That's Matt. I'm Chris. Chris over here. All the way over. Damn, it's all the way over there. But we have another episode, our last episode before Spectacular this weekend. Your mic's muted. You all right? You good? All right, word. Here, let me do this, right? So my man's out here having some technical issues. It's all right. I'm gonna shoot him a text right now. But look, we're gonna have a good time here. Spin from the Real. We got that finals tournament, the team's final tournament, the team's tournament final. Jesus, that just happened not too long ago. We have another match to look forward to towards Spectacular. Another prediction that we didn't make last week on the Barbarian show. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we had the Barbarian on the show last week. What's going on, Matt? Doing predictions with us last week, but we didn't know the outcome of the team's tournament final, and now we do. So we have not only that match to break down for you, because your boy did his homework one more time, but we have that match to predict this time around, because that's the one match we didn't get to do when we had Barbarian on the show. Once again, shout out to Barbarian for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you, Barbarian.
But now, it's been a little bit. It's been, 5 days since that tournament final ended. Now everyone's all high on Spectacular, as they should be, because we are. We out here talking Spectacular all the time, looking at it, absorbing it. There were also some big Schmoedown news bits that dropped over the course of the week that we will talk about as the show progresses. But let's just hit this team's tournament final off the bat, because this tournament final, Matt, dare I say it, this is match of the year contender at the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
It hasn't happened, but it's match of the year contender, probably within the top 5 or top 3. I'll go as far as saying that.
Definitely at the moment. I actually got to step out for a moment because I didn't think that thing I told you about would happen so quickly.
Word. All right, well, I'll start breaking down the match, and we'll go from there. But look, guys, this team's tournament final, and it happened last Friday, and oh my God, what a match it was. I said it a second ago. It was one of the best matches that we got all year. I'll say that right now in confidence, because that's how good the match was. I'm not even trying to lie to y'all. I'm not going to tell y'all some garbage. This match was spectacular, pun intended. I love this match so much. It's so good. But look, y'all, let's talk about this match for a second. Let's break down the matches as I got my homework, my notes for this. So we'll go ahead and start, with Oyama missing the first 2 questions of this match, because that's the first big noteworthy bit of this match. Paul Oyama, the stud of the year, one of the most, is one of the S tier players, as we talked about last week on the show. Paul Oyama is an S tier Schmoedown player, and not only did Lon Harris get the first 2 questions right, Mark Andreyko get the first 2 questions right, Jeff Snyder got the first 2 questions right, our boy Paul Oyama missed the first 2 questions of the match, which set the precedent, honestly, and set the tone for the rest of the match. And shout out to our boy Leo Logan in the chat. What's going on, Leo? Hope you're doing well. I was surprised Paul missed Prince of Thieves and he couldn't pull it. That, and he couldn't pull the Wizard of Oz color of the slipper question. So those 2 questions started off the match, and Paul missed both. Granted, he killed the round. He killed the rest of the round, but 3 perfect rounds are across the board. Lon Harris, Mark Andreyko, and Jeff Snyder, right? Because the Odd Couple and Final Exam went into this match with all the hype in the world. These 2 teams, 2 of the best teams, not only of this year, but some might say ever, more so the Odd Couple than Final Exam, at least in my opinion. But 3 perfect rounds going into the second round, and I couldn't. Man, the match started off hot, but Paul Oyama missing that damn Prince of Thieves and that damn Wizard of Oz question set the tone for the rest of the match. So the score was 18-15 in favor of the Odd Couple going forward. and you're going to sense a trend going into the rest of this match, right? So Final Exam spins first, and they spin away from Oscar movies. They spin away. They said, Oscar movies, nuh-uh. We're going to go ahead and spin again, and they spun Festival Darlings. And they got every single question correctly, went to multiple choice only once, and got all of 11 points out of a possible 12, making the score 26-18 in favor of Final Exam. But then the tide changes. Then the Odd Couple comes up, and they spin Viola Davis right off the bat. And they're deliberating between Andreyko, Snyder, and Roxy. And they're just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. There are worse options on the board. We don't want to go ahead and spin something else that may be in favor of Final Exam. So let's go ahead and keep Viola Davis. That's exactly what they did. And they killed this category. They got every single question right, all 2-pointers for those 6 questions, making the score 30-26 in favor of the Odd Couple. 4-point swing, or it's a 4-point lead going into round 3. Round 3, what this thing consists of now, since it's a tournament final, so we're rocking with a 5-rounder. It's not your typical 3-round match. It's the tournament final. We saw that with the singles tourney with Snyder and with Adam Collins. It was 5 rounds, so we're going to see another 5-rounder here. So this third round, is the betting round. And the betting round is the wheel is spun one more time, and it's Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, okay. All 4 of those guys were comfortable with Ridley Scott. And the question at hand was, what do they call the computer in Alien, in the first Alien film? They both got the question right, and they both bet 2 points. Both teams bet 2 points. And now the score was 32-28, still 4-point lead for the Odd Couple, but now the make or break round happens. In these 5-round matches, in the digital era, it's weird. And I totally understand why Christian Harloff does not want to do teams going forward in the digital era, because this is exactly why. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of pieces, a lot of things going on. Can't really blame the man. But this round was weird, because not only did it consist of a lot of misses, a lot of passes. I think the only person who went perfect was Paul Oyama, and that's exactly what happened. So just to break down the score from round 4, it's Snyder and Andreyko both got 3 points apiece, giving them 6. And Lon Harris got 3 questions correctly, but he missed a question, bringing them down to 2. And Paul Oyama got all 5 of his questions, making that a 7-point round for Final Exam, making the score 38-35. So they knocked that point down. What's going on, Matt? So they knocked their lead down from 4-3 in the 4th round, but that still had that 3-point deficit going into the 5th and final round for this team's tournament final. And in the 5th round, it was, oh God, back and forth. Both of these teams, it's a slugfest, which is exactly what we expected out of a team's tournament final.
It was what we expected. It was what we expected. I know you already moved past round 1, but I was honestly shocked that Paul missed those 2 questions. Just dumbfounded, especially the Wizard of Oz question.
Oh my God, right? So our boy Leo Logan in the chat said he was surprised that Paul missed the Prince of Thieves question. And then I thought to myself, or I said right now, I'm like, yo, I'm surprised he missed the Wizard of Oz question, because that's such a staple in movie history. Yeah. Like it's one of the most iconic. Yeah, it's one of the most iconic pieces of memorabilia in film, or like the best props of anything, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone knows the ruby slippers, but apparently in the book, which I learned during that match, they were silver, and that's what he wrote down. So that was the problem.
Yeah, they wanted something to show off the new color technology back then, so that's why we went with the ruby.
Which dope. I mean, that's awesome, you know. But oh my God, because as I mentioned, it set the tone for the match, because you thought, or you would think, like, oh, it's Paul Oyama, like he's S tier player. Like, even though he lost to Snyder in the singles tournament, if he faced Snyder 5 more times, I'm taking Oyama like 3-2 in a 5-game series. You know what I mean? So it was so odd seeing him miss those first 2 questions, because then it put them in a deficit, especially after Lon Harris, who we've been like, which line are we gonna get? He got a perfect round in the first round. Even got the bonus question.
Yeah. It was kind of reverse of what we're used to seeing because I shouldn't say reverse. Paul's the one who struggled early on and then was like on fire the rest of the match. Lon was strong and then tapered off a little bit towards the end,
especially in that fourth round.
Mm-hmm.
And like as I mentioned, not too long ago in that fourth round, Paulo Oyama got all 5 of his questions. It's what we expect out of Paul, but still, that first round was like, "Eesh, that's a rough start." Especially in a champion I keep saying championship match because that's what this felt like.
Yeah,
teams tournament match.
Teams tournament champion. It is a championship match. That's what it's called because it's the tournament championship match.
Yeah, it's like so. Paul missing those first 2, and then Lon only getting 2 points out of his 5 because he got 3 questions right, but he missed a question, incorrectly got one, so that knocked him down a point. And now going into this 5th round, they're down 3. Final exam's down 3 to the odd couple. And this 5th round is a slugfest. So by default, final exam has to go first. And they have to get 2 questions right, not just 1. They got to get 2. They got to get their 2 and their 3. So Paul goes first. Paul goes first, gets scores and soundtracks. And he was asked a question about who composed the score, who made the music for the Lord of the Rings film.
Howard Short. Easy question. Got it.
Bam. 2 pointers. Bang. Then Lon gets a 90s question for his 3-pointer, and he hits the Jeff Bridges Fearless question, getting those 3 points.
Yeah, there were so many Jeff Bridges questions in this match.
If the odd couple, and actually I'll get to that in a second. Hold that thought. So then it swings over to the odd couple. They had to answer some questions. The 2-point question was in the category of Brad Pitt. Snyder goes for it, gets Inglourious Basterds because that was the first collaboration between Brad Pitt and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
And also, if you're coming in the Schmoedown match as the Bear Jew, you better hit Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, you better get the Inglourious Basterds question. And then the odd couple gets their 3-point question, which is in the category of comic book movies, which goes to the comic book writer, Mark Andreyko. And my man hits the question. He hits the Fantastic Four Toby Kebbell question. Fantastic, right? So now we're down to the 5s. Both teams have their 5s left, and they have to nail them. They have to. Both final exam needs to hit it to send it back to odd couple. Odd couple needs to hit their 5 to beat final exam. So final exam goes first. They get comedies, 5-point comedy question. So awfully broad, nothing too specific, but still, it was a Michael Richard trial and error question. It was like what sitcom actor co-starred in Trial and Error, and Lon Harris with the pull of the decade.
Right. I was like, I didn't even know this is a movie. I would have.
Yeah, Lon went like he was like, it's Michael Richard. I'm like, what? Like in confidence, you said that? Like
so I know this. It's Michael Richard. It's Michael Richard. Who that one? I was like, I didn't look him up. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, who the hell is Michael Richard?
Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, that's one hell of a pull for Trial and Error of all things. But they get the question correctly. They get them damn 5 points, bring their score up to. They brought their score up all the way to it was 40. Yeah, it was 40. 40 on the dot actually. So then, odd couple goes with their 5-pointer. It's in the category of fantasy sci-fi. Again, another broad genre. Your 5-pointer could be literally anything in that category. And they get the question about what musician or what singer played this character in Tremors. And again, Mark Andreyko with another great poll. There you go. Thanks, Leo Logan. That's hell yeah, dude. That's a fun fact. But then Mark Andreyko with another great poll. He's like, oh, yo, it's Reba McEntire. She was in Tremors. And I'm like, what the what?
Movie I hadn't seen. Okay.
Yeah, and bang, like he's like, it's Reba McEntire. And Jeff's like, all right. And then Christian's like, and your winner, The Odd Couple. I'm like, holy God. Not only did they break the points record in this new updated format for teams, but The Odd Couple advances in this abbreviated teams tournament and now go on to play Shazam as Schmoedown Spectacular. Holy God, what a match. Like I said, it was one of the best matches of the year, and now talking about it again and saying it out loud, I'm going to double down on that. I know Frankie Numbers of the Rundown. He said it was one of the best matches ever. Which I mean, if that's the case, then there were a couple matches that happened this year that are some of the best ever. And I can say that in confidence because I've said on this show multiple times, this is the most important year the Schmoedown's ever had. Yeah. It's the most important season. You can say the first full season at Collider, obviously the first singles tournament long time ago, or even like season 5 or season 6. But this one right here is the most important season, right? You needed this season to up not only the competitiveness, but you're making people work at characters. It's the first full season with factions, and now not only did this odd couple win, further push the Rockstars towards potentially placing second in the point standings, but also they're lined up to win the tag titles again against Shazam.
Yeah, Jeff Sneider could become a 3-time teams champion. First kind of champion we'd ever have. Whoever thought we'd have a 3-time teams champion? That's just insane. Mm-hmm. If it were to happen.
Big if.
But there's the conversation that now has to be had. Does he belong on Mount Rushmore?
See, okay. So shout out to our friends at Call to Action, because they put this into my brain and they put this into everyone's brain, because apparently they've been championing Jeff Sneider as the best teams player of all time. And upon further thought and further deliberation in my own brain, Chris Anthony Lopez, after championing Andrew Guy for months on this show, I will concede to Call to Action and say that Jeff Sneider, after this tournament, doesn't even matter what he does at Spectacular with Mark Andreyko. This man is the best teams player of all time. The numbers back him up. The numbers just back him up, dude. The titles back him up as well. Like, oh my God, Jeff Sneider does what he does in teams is unprecedented. And now, let's take it a step further, Matt. We have to talk about Jeff Sneider Player of the Year. We have to. We have no choice but to. I'm not saying he's going to win. Let me say that now before things get misconstrued. I'm not saying he's going to win the thing, but not only does he runs the gamut through singles and loses to Adam Collins, who's been a stud this year, runs the gamut through teams, wins the damn teams tournament, and what if he wins the belt at Spectacular? If Odd Couple beats Shazam, you have to consider him for Player of the Year. You have to.
I mean, yeah, you do. I guess it's
a big deal. Like
my initial thought to hold back on it, I was like, the teams tournament completely slipped my mind. That's to me all I remember.
Singles or teams?
Sorry, the singles tournament completely slipped my mind because I'm just like, Adam Collins was so dominant. I forgot everybody who just.
Yeah, he beat Sneider in the final in a pretty damn good match.
Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for Sneider, the Rocks up in the standings as they are. So.
Yeah, a lot of that is on Jeff Sneider. Mm-hmm.
So it's just, yeah, you got to put him in the conversation for Player of the Year. I'd still go with Collins or Dan over him.
I totally agree.
Even if he wins the title, it's still Collins or Dan.
Woo. Now that's where you lose me just a little bit.
Oh no! Here, let me rephrase that. If he wins the team's title, and Dan loses his title and Collins wins, it's still Collins and Dan. If Dan wins, it becomes Jeff and Dan. And I say this because Dan won the singles title and had 2 successful defenses.
Could be 3 if he beats Collins.
Could be 3, but that's what I said.
And we haven't seen that before.
Exactly.
So another feather in his cap.
But that's what I'm saying. If Dan loses, that's still winning 3 titles matches this year.
It's still a great season for Dan overall. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly who votes in the awards.
I think the patrons.
Is it us? Like
yeah, it's us, the patrons.
Because I don't know, like if the competitors gonna have a say. Manager can have a say.
I'm pretty sure they get a say also, but it's overall like they have a say. The fans vote. I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of all of them.
Because then I'm really curious into how where the fans' votes lie. Because say hypothetically, Collins beats Dan, and then the Odd Couple beats Shazam. That's one hell of a race for Player of the Year, overall Player of the Year.
It's a tight 3-way race.
1,000%.
I still think it leans more towards the other two players if Collins beats Dan.
Like the singles guys instead of the teams guy?
Yeah.
Because hypothetically, because it's hard to... Oh, God. That's hard. It's gonna be. I don't know who I'd vote for. I don't know. I had to sit here and deliberate it, and it's like, who the hell am I going to vote for if Collins beats Dan? Because Dan still had a great year. He still had a great year, and let's not forget his tag team run with Roka and the Founding Fathers.
Right.
So,
and that's why I'm just like year. It's him. It's nothing else. It's him or Collins. That's what it is in my mind. It can be as close as you and I will be later at WatCon this year.
Damn right.
But it's just those two in my eyes. Like I said, when people are like, should Roxy be in the Manager of the Year conversation now? Yes, 100%. She should be in the Manager of the Year of the conversation. But as a nominee.
Yes.
Nowhere near close to winning, but a nominee nonetheless.
Yeah, she's not.
It's just like the Oscars, where you're like, oh yeah, this guy's running away with it. We all know it. I'm just glad to have been nominated.
But this person should be recognized for their work.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
No, and I totally agree. Like Roxy, she, our boy Leo Logan in the chat, if Shazam beats Odd Couple, they'd be Team of the Year with a record of 4-0 this season.
Yes, sir.
1,000,000,000%. 1,000%. Shazam's had a kick-ass year, and their season didn't start till the back half until this COVID-stricken season because of what happened at the New York Live event, which we will not harp on because our boy Coy, who also should be in consideration for Manager of the Year, maybe not win the thing, but also should be recognized for his work because they've had a kick-ass year. The Corky Mercs have had one hell of a back half of 2020.
Yes.
But in regards to Jeff Snyder and the Odd Couple, Matt, there's one prediction we didn't do last week, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to do it now. I beg the question to you, Matt Thomas. Who will come out as spectacular as the Schmoedown Tag Team Champions? Will it be the Odd Couple, the the team's champions? You saw what they did against
team's tournament champions. 9. Team tournament champions.
That's what I say.
Team's champions. Yeah, you said team's champions.
Yeah, it's in my brain now. They beat Category 9. They beat Deception. They beat Final Exam. And now
Disruption.
You know what I meant. And then now they're facing off against Shazam, who's had one killer year. Another team that's beaten Final Exam. They beat Corruption proper, the team. And they've been running rampant through the teams division up through this year, and then as individuals. And now we see these two singles competitors who kick ass come together one more time this season to face off against Jeff Snyder and Mark Andreyko. Matt Thomas, who you got at Spectacular this Saturday?
I think my boy Billy Batson said it best. Shazam!
Ooh, boy. Why do you think Shazam? Please tell me why. Which I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just curious.
You look at the matches they had, how they dismantled Who's the Boss, how they just destroyed Corruption. Corruption, after that title match against the Founding Fathers, looked nearly unbeatable.
Yeah.
And they dismantled them. So
they're exposing people's weaknesses. 1,000%.
And they know everyone's weaknesses. And they've been able to sit back and do nothing but study and not have to worry about playing these other matches. Where sure, these other people are studying, but while they're playing these matches, that's another movie or two that Shazam gets to watch.
Yeah.
That's more. They have more game film on a team like Who's the Boss, or actually not Who's the Boss, like the Odd Couple. compared to what the Odd Couple has on them. It's just the truth. The Odd Couple's been playing for what? 2.5 seasons? 2.5 seasons.
It's been a bit.
Shazam's a season and a half old now. The one team has a heck of a lot more matches. And one team has a player that if you get under his skin, you can dismantle it entirely. Bibbs doesn't let anything get under his skin. The kid who can mess with the kid is the kid.
Yeah.
You get under Jeff Snyder's skin, just like people have in the past. Mm-hmm. You're fine. Like you win. That's the name of the game. And Shazam, even they're probably the best. They're probably the best faces who know how to get under your skin.
And it's not even through like trash talk because they don't do that.
It's like a kill them with kindness.
It's their gameplay,
really,
because they're that damn good. Shazam, when it's all said and done, I'm gonna say this right now. What time is it? As our boy Leo Logan in the chat, if Andrejko loses to Bibiani again, it can go in a way like how Roca can't beat Irwin. For real.
Damn straight.
It's 5:17 Central Standard Time on Wednesday, December 9th. I'm going to say it right now.
5:17. It's 6:27.
5:27. You know what I meant. God, am I drunk right now? No, I just got home from work. But if Shazam, when it's all said and done, Shazam will be one of the best teams ever. They will be in the best team of all time category or conversation, 1,000%. If they already aren't, because we've seen some kick-ass teams, some great teams. I saw that question posted in the Facebook group for the movie trivia Schmoedown. People were asking for the best teams of all time, and there were some great teams mentioned.
I still stay above the line. Just gotta say it. Only teams ever beat the Patriots and then beat them in a Iron Man match. That's all I gotta say.
And that's a conversation maybe we can have during the off season.
Yeah,
not to expose our production meeting here, but for me, I've picked against the Odd Couple 2 times in the last couple weeks. I picked them against the winner of Deception Lethal Weapons, or I picked the winner of that over the Odd Couple, and I picked Final Exam over the Odd Couple last week when we talked about this match. Because I thought Final Exam was going to bring it, and they did bring it. They posted up 40+ points.
Yep,
like that's no slouch. Holy God, like a 40 point match, it got me messed up. But Shazam, dude. Shazam's just so.
You're where I am. Shazam hasn't proven to me that they can lose. Like even with that match last year, the teams tournament, that was a fought to the last question match.
Oh God!
The Odd Couple have proven they can actually lose,
but they have a fire lit under their ass.
I know, and I know that's why you don't want to pick against them, and I get that. You don't want to pick against them, but at the same time, your better judgment's telling you to go with Shazam. I can tell because I know you well enough by now.
Look, as a fan of, damn, I loved Who's the Boss. I did. I loved Who's the Boss. They weren't the best team ever, but they're one of my favorites, right?
Yes.
And when I saw them lose to Shazam the way they did, it was disheartening. And yeah, again, I've been a stan of corruption all season. I love corruption. One may say I am a corrupt boy, but watching that corruption Shazam match, I'm like, oh my God, Mamma Mia, here we go again. Like this Shazam is so menacing, and their faces. Toy Jandros, their manager. They just
know how to win. That's point blank. They know how to win.
Oh my God. I feel like if I pick against the Odd Couple, they're going to win the match because that's what's been going on the last few weeks. With the exception of that Category 9 match, which I'm pretty sure them winning was the worst kept secret in MTS history, or MTS this season. But, oh my God. I am really, God bless America. I'm going to regret this later. I'm going to pick Shazam as the victor, It's two Titans going up. It's going to be a slugfest. If the Odd Couple keep that same energy they've had in this team's tournament and keep it towards Shazam, it's going to be a slugfest. Shazam, they've been chilling with the belts for a little bit. They haven't competed in a hot second, but that don't mean shit in the Schmoedown, because in the beginning, in this pandemic-stricken season, we would think to ourselves, damn, Rust plays a part. And we've seen a variety of examples how Rust don't mean shit.
But we have seen a variety of examples where Rust does mean shit.
But
the
that's
difference
like months.
is, well, I know,
that's like months.
But that's what I was about to get to. The difference is this is only like a 2-month layoff.
Yeah. And they might. I guarantee that match has already been shot.
And realistically, I was about to say, realistically, it's less than that because the match has probably already been shot. We know Spectacular isn't live and that is pre-recorded. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, they last played October 16th. December 12th is the day we get to see the outcome of Spectacular. When was that match played? It might have only been like a month and a half.
I'm gonna stick with Shazam, but I will be overjoyed if the Odd Couple win. I really would be, because I love seeing some gold on my boy Mark Andreyko. Jeff Snyder is proving to be one of the best competitors and characters in Schmoedown history. Like, yeah, my boy's been calling for people to put respect on his name, and even when he didn't have to like go out of his way to get it, he goes to the final in the singles tournament, wins the damn teams tournament, goes on the Spectacular, and now the Rockstars have 2 matches at Spectacular, potentially can finish in second, overtaking the Finstock Exchange, which could
not
be
second.
nuts.
They can't finish in second.
That's what our boy Frankie Numbers said on the.
Really?
It's
let me see this.
Some certain things have to happen. I saw it on Reddit. There's a situation into where the Rockstars can overtake the Finstock Exchange, but it involves like.
But the Finstock Exchange isn't in second; they're in third.
But they can overtake.
They'd have to overtake Swag.
Swag and the Finstock Exchange, like because the corruption. Let's be real. Like, they might be locks to win this season.
So
depending on how their matches pan out.
If Chance loses, and I think that's their own. If Chance loses and Collins loses, then they've got like almost no chance, if I remember correctly, because we got the championship match for Inner Geekdom.
Yes.
Let me look at the schedule.
Well, here, okay. This is according to our boy Frankie Numbers over at the Rundown, right?
Yeah.
So, this is what this man says. If Damon, Jericho, and the Odd Couple, oh shit, I forgot that Alex Damon had a match there too.
Yeah.
If they all win by knockout, that's a total of 16 points, which would give the Rockstars 56 points. If Ace loses and Chandru loses as well, the Chance, that will give Slag 55. And then Corruption would have 71 with the Chance win, right? Yeah. If Morrow wins by knockout, that will give the Finstock Exchange 56 points. And if the Rockstars and the Finstock Exchange are tied at 56, they'll go to a tiebreaker. Whichever faction has the better overall record will overtake that faction, so on and so forth.
And that would be the Finstock Exchange. That's the thing. Their record's way better than the Rockstars.
Now, if what I just said pans out, the Rockstars would have a season record of 16-11, and the Finstock Exchange would have a record of 16-13, putting the Rockstars.
They have 17 right now. The Finstock Exchange has 17 wins.
This is according to our man on Reddit. I'm just reading off what my man's saying. But either way, Corruption, they're looking good to take first. The battle for second and third are the question. But the Rockstars are definitely in it. And it's...
So someone's math be off.
Yeah, this is just what my man's saying over here.
I don't know. I'm just saying the Rockstars can end up with 16 wins, yes, but the Finstock Exchange has 17. So they can end up in a points tiebreaker, but
and that's just hypothetical. But the craziest part is that the Rockstars could potentially finish second by a lone point, which is the craziest thing in the world, because you wouldn't have said that 2 months ago.
I wouldn't say that now still, because I think
it all depends on Damon Jericho and Odd Couple winning their matches by leaps and bounds.
And that's why I'm saying it's not likely. It's really not. I don't see Chris Jericho getting a knockout. If Ace plays the way that he played it in the tournament, Damon's not getting a knockout. Mm-hmm. So by that alone, that's not happening. And there's no way in hell that we're going to see a knockout from
teams.
Yeah.
And just to preface, this is from a post that's titled "Impossible, but still barely possible." So it's definitely extremely unlikely, but fun to talk about hypothetically. Yeah. And but that points race is going to be rough.
Realistically, this comes down to Swag and Corruption, and Swag needs at least one knockout.
And who they got? Chanson.
Chandru may be able to pull that off. That's their best bet. That's their best bet out of the two matches. When you have Ace or Chandru, I think
you're nuts. You're nuts.
You think Ace? No. I didn't know. I'm saying if you look at his two players that are playing, which is Ace over Damon, there's no way in hell that's going to be a knockout. The best option for Swag to get a knockout is what I'm saying would be Chan. And that's still unlikely. Improbable. You interrupted me before I finished, but because you were like, "What?"
Then don't pause. Then don't take a pause. I'll jump.
I didn't even get to take a pause. I was taking a breath. But no. So that is the best chance for Winston and Swag to tie. And if they are able to tie, we get a tiebreaker match.
Which would be awesome, wouldn't it? Because what would that be? Would they pick a division?
I don't know.
Or would they? Because they obviously they put up the best person.
Yeah, I know. But you want to know what would be awesome? If the tiebreaker match had to be manager versus manager.
Oh shit! It won't happen.
It won't happen. But that would be insane.
That'd be one hell of a twist. And I know they have one lined up. I just forget what it is, what the tiebreaker would be. But would it just be like a singles match and you put up your best and you just freaking slug it out? Because that would be nuts.
Well, here's my stipulation. I feel like if they have a tiebreaker match, it should be someone that isn't already in Spectacular. So that takes Collins out of the equation.
Also, oh shit! So that takes Bibbs, the Kid, Collins, Chance.
Well, no. So if it's a tiebreaker, there's realistically, because the best option for a tiebreaker match would be Swag Corruption. That takes out Chandru, takes out Chance. That takes out Collins. And that only takes out Ace. Winston still has three of his best players as an option. He's got Paul. He'd have
Paul,
Lon, and Liz Shannon Miller.
Yeah, that's good.
What Shannon would have Kalinowski or Marisol.
Marisol, yeah.
Because you can't use Chance and you can't use Adam in this hypothetical. Good one. You said who? Mark Hoyt. Yeah, Hoyt. That would be a good one.
That's another good one. But no, I mean on paper, Swag. If you
here's the thing, you know damn well who Shannon would be throwing out there.
Gotta put out the killer, baby. Gotta put out
she go out there and try to hit that game winner.
Unless there's I don't have the rest of the roster in front of me. I can think of Elliott is another one.
Oh, I can get that roster in front of you in just one moment.
But I mean on paper, I've talked about Paulo Yama enough on this show.
Adam Collins wouldn't be able to in our hypothetical. Chance wouldn't be able to in our hypothetical. Oh, there we go. It'd be between. Thank you, Leo.
Marisol and Liz, Leo Logan, bring it. That'd be one awesome match to see. I would love that. LSM and
see, and that's where I'm leaning. I think it would be Liz or Paul on the side of Swag, yes. But realistically, I would like to see Marisol. But I think, like I said, Shannon's gonna give her boy Mike the chance to pull.
I think Marisol would be fresher. Because she's coming off of the teams tournament.
Yeah, but you know how Mike is. Mike is helping everyone study. Mike is studying by helping everyone study. He's helping get Chance ready. He's helping get Collins ready. Like there's not. That's like here to put it prime example. He's like Big Shot Bob in this instance. Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry. He's just that savvy veteran who can get you that big shot at the end of the game. And granted, I'm not besmirching him because I know I just couldn't think of a star who's been on the downslope. So I just used Big Shot Bob, who has 7 rings, mind you. More than Michael. If rings matter, then Big Shot Bob is the GOAT.
If rings matter, what's his name? Bill Russell's the GOAT.
Bill Russell's the GOAT. And that's why I always tell people, like, Jordan has 6, he's the GOAT.
Bill Russell's the GOAT. Yeah. He has 11, but we're not here to talk sport.
But
I totally get it. That'd be Marisol LSM would be ideal for me. That's the match I would like to see. Yeah. But that's if we get there.
That's if we get there.
Like some crazy shit would have to happen in Spectacular to get in the position.
And I know Barbarian was hinting towards us. He's like, I know some of the outcomes, and you're gonna be amazed. I hear stuff like that. I'm like, we get in the tiebreaker.
If we get a tiebreaker, and if they play it at the end, like that's like this. That's like the end credit scene's another match. Like to end the season, that's your moneymaker. That'd be awesome. That'd be dope.
It would just be insane.
Because there are a lot of things, like it's crazy to think that the season ends on Saturday. Like on Saturday, like no more play for a little bit. For a little while. They're gonna be out of commission for a little bit. And I'm eager. And I know there's some news that Christian broke yesterday. That we'll get to in a second. But before we talk about that, there are a lot of things that are going to happen on Saturday that I'm really excited about. Not only the matches, but we're getting a Schmoeminati thing. And I can't wait for Saturday. Saturday's going to rule. But maybe we can end the show talking about Saturday because that's Saturday.
Well, that's what the major news thing is. So, I mean, but yeah, like you mentioned Schmoeminati, and that's what's next on this because the last 3 teams tournament matches, we've had Andrew Guy cutscenes. Andrew Guy making a video about, I'm past this all. The Schmoeminati's thing's done. We're moving on.
Damn right.
Then he gets a mysterious phone call, and then we start to see Andrew losing it a little bit in the next one. And then this one we got before the team's tournament final, Andrew was completely unhinged. He was back to where he was against Ben Bateman with the green pen of justice. And I don't have a green pen, but I got a blue pen of justice.
My man is unhinged. Okay, again, I will say this. I will keep going and going and going and going and going about this because that's how much I will double down in the statement. By all means, go crazy. Look, so I know people love the delinquent lawn hairs. They love the delinquent, right? They think it's the best character of the year. I could not disagree anymore. I think deranged Andrew Guy is on fire, right? He is killing it. Andrew Guy, the character stuff that he's been doing since the pandemic has been nothing less than great. Doesn't matter what you think of the promo in the car where he's just cracking up, right? Like, I think that's gold. I honestly think that's really, really funny, really good. And even though he got lost in the sauce against Ben Bateman in August, still, my man was still on it with character. If there is a character of the year type of thing, I'm giving it to Andrew. Mm-hmm. And watching what he's been doing lately in these last couple of weeks, no one's capable of doing that. Not only progressing a story, but getting lost in your own sauce. Exactly. He's broken. If he's getting lost in the sauce in his own character again, and he's going to expose the Schmoeminati at Spectacular. And it's going to be the craziest shit on the planet. Can I give you a prediction, Matt?
Yeah.
So I said on the show, I believe it was the show post August pay-per-view, so post Jericho Smith, post Bateman Guy. And I said, like, Mark Ellis wasn't too fond. He didn't seem too kind to Andrew Guy. And I know to break kayfabe a little bit, Guy and Bateman had mentioned that Christian and Mark weren't in on what Andrew was doing. Like, Andrew was just in it, and they were adjusting as they went. because they knew he was playing a character. Cool. I think they should play off of that. They should keep that storyline going because, and shout out to our boy from Repeat the Question. Yeah, shout out to the boy from Repeat the Question. Go check out what he's doing on YouTube, and his articles are actually really, really good.
Yes, they are.
And he just came back. He took a little bit of a break. My man just came back today, and David Sackrider went ahead and gave us his predictions for Schmoeminati. And the first one that he mentioned was one that I said on the show weeks ago, months ago. And it was Mark Ellis. And I'm going to paraphrase what my man David Sackrider said. But he said, like, yo, like people forget. People gave Christian a lot of the praise for the Schmoedown stuff. Like,
it's Christian and Ellis.
Yeah. People give Ellis the shaft. Ellis is just the guy that calls the matches. He's the guy with the funny names on the StreamYard. He's more than that. He was the other guy at the pizza shop in Burbank. Exactly. And he's been getting the shaft because Christian gets all the love. And everybody knows that Christian was the true guy behind corruption. Right? He was the mastermind, the puppet master behind corruption, and he used the mic as his Trojan horse. But Mark Ellis, if you're going to reintroduce Mark Ellis into actual Schmoedown cutscenes and matches even, managing even, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And another thing that, Matt, I don't think I told you. You might have seen this anyway. But Christian Harloff has said that Ken Knapsack's going to be announcing next season. He'll be doing some announcement work. So he's done competing. He retired from competing and managing.
And he announced today that Steph Sabroth, if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, who's been on SCN and is one of the World Girls, that she'll be on the table going forward next year.
Fantastic. How about that? So now Mark Ellis is going to get some time to, really shake off the cobwebs and get back in the character and be the leader of the Schmoeminati and take the Schmoedown by storm. He won't compete. There's no way Mark competes. No way. So let's shut all that down now. As much as we love baby carrots, no more baby carrots. No more. Did I drop my Spider-Man? No, I didn't. He's still here. But no, Mark Ellis is the leader of the Schmoeminati. I agree with David Sackrider 1,000%. It's him. It has to be him.
And that brings us to a great question. And Leo, we know you're here. I want to hear your thoughts. Who is in the Schmoeminati?
Who's in it? Ooh, shucks. We won't find that out.
One person I have always thought was in the Schmoeminati since this whole thing began is one of my favorite competitors himself, Ben Bateman.
Yes, right? Yes. So so the Schmoeminati may be its own faction going into next season, right?
Yeah.
And imagine your 3 locked players. You get Ben Bateman. You get Andrew Guy. Team action is back, baby. And then whoever the hell is your third, if it's a barbarian, if it's someone who's real dangerous, right? It could be an outlaw. Whoever the hell it is. Oh, my God. I don't even want to get too excited about this, bro. I don't want to get my hopes up. I really don't want to get my hopes up. But what I will say is that my man Mark Ellis has to be the leader of the Schmoeminati. He has to be the guy behind. He has to be the guy behind the curtain. I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that. And if it's not Mark, I'm going to be kind of bummed unless they really surprise the hell out of me. Because everyone's saying Sam. People are saying Dan. And I think those are 2 other names. Our boy Drew McQueen is another good one. But I think Sam, it's another great one. I think our boy the Barbarian said last week that Drew McQueeney had reason to leave the Schmoedown because he's working on other things. So I don't expect Drew McQueeney to do this, but it was surprised the hell out of me. I want to be like, my inner wrestling fan, like I want to be surprised. I want to be shocked. And if it's Mark, and if they do it correctly, save it for the end of the show, post Collins Merle, have Mark just be like, Christian, F you, bro. Like, and guys like, that's him. It's Mark. It's me, Austin. It's been me all along. Like that's what I'm talking about, bro. It should be Mark. 1,000% should be Mark. If it's not Mark, I want to be surprised. I don't want it to be Sam. I think Sam's too much of a softball. Yeah, I want it to be like, it was me, Christian. It was me the whole time. Like, that's what I want it. That's how I want this to be super campy.
I think we're gonna have to have Taylor in on our watch party of this on Saturday.
I mean, play if my man ain't doing anything, but like Spectacular's gonna be popping. I can't wait. And if the Schmoeminati, which I mean, if they try to tell us more details of who the leader is, then please, just please, sir, can I have some more? But come on, just make it be Mark Ellis. Give it. Come on, it's Mark. It's Mark. I'm already getting excited. I'm getting my hopes up. I'm gonna be disappointed, Matt. I'm gonna be disappointed.
Well, that's what always happens with you.
I'm gonna be disappointed because I'm a Mark. I'm a nerd. I'm an avid wrestling fan, so I think too far in advance. It's not gonna be Mark.
We're talking about the part before Jack Frost.
Yeah,
there's hours of it before Jack Frost even starts. So
yeah, I might jump in on that Jack Frost thing. I may have to watch that movie with y'all, or at least maybe not on screen, but at least watch along.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later, Taylor. But yes, dude, Schmoeminati is real. Give me some merch. I'll wear the hell out of it. Like, come on, please, sir. Can I have some more? Schmoeminati is gonna be one of the many things that happen at Spectacular that our brains are gonna melt. This show's gonna rule. This has the potential to be the best show the Schmoedown's ever put on, and I can't wait. Even though it's all digital. That's the crazy ass part too.
Yeah, so Christian was actually talking about this today on SEN. Mm-hmm. They're having to hire someone to be in a room to play it so it feels like it's live and make sure there's no hiccups and whatnot. Like it's insane what they're going through for this.
The production value is going to be on 10 because you have to. It's your WrestleMania. Like we saw legitimate WrestleMania earlier this year adapt to the times, and they spread it out over 2 nights. So it's going to be one hell of a show. Can't wait to watch it. And we're going to be doing some things pre-spectacular that we'll talk about at the end of the show because we're going to have some crossover. The Spin for the Real guys.
Thank you, Leo. That was the other thing. Jen Sturger is doing interviews for all of Spectacular. We haven't seen our girl Jen at all this season. I'm glad to have her back. It's fantastic. She's one of the heart and soul of the Schmoedown. She's really a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick with the bold claim. Brandon Hanna is in the Schmoeminati. That would explain those long, drawn out 7-minute.
Why did you say that name? But no, having Jen come back, she was too busy being all elite for a while. But now, like I'm so that's dope. Like I didn't know that. That's news to me. Hell yeah! Like more Jessica, please.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, I get what you said. I get what you did there.
What I do?
You said more Jessica, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you did there.
No,
because that's what Guy says, and you know it's Jen.
Yeah, that's her name.
That's no. No, whatever. Yeah.
Either way, it's gonna be a great show. It's gonna rule, but not to think too far in advance post Spectacular. But Christian did say some things about next season, Matt, that are pretty exciting, to be honest.
Yes, he said a lot in regards to next season.
I think she rang the bell.
Yeah, so for those who don't know at home, typically this season we've gotten about 8 to 10 matches a month. You know, that's a lot. That's a lot of Schmoedown a month. 8 to 10 matches, roughly, depending on the month. But next season, whenever the hell the season starts, we're going to be getting, I believe the numbers were 12 to 16.
Yeah, 12 to 16 a month.
So we will be getting almost double the Schmoedown content every single month for the 2021 season, for season 8. And we're gonna be pretty busy.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna be busy.
Oh, look who's here.
What's going on, Colin?
He's watching us because he's got to work the Charleston game tonight, so he's got to put something on in the background with no football going on.
Well, I hope you enjoy the show, homie. I think this is the first time being on the show since he was on the show.
Right.
So what's going on, dude? Hope you're doing well. But nah, dude, we're gonna be busy next year. We're gonna be
Hey, yep,
busy.
just like I called it. Hello from the control booth.
Damn right. We're gonna be awfully busy in 2021 season 8.
I'm wondering if we're gonna start. Are we gonna start doing 3 to 4 matches a week? If he's saying 12 to 16, 3 to 4 matches a week.
3 matches make sense at the minimum. That fourth one, I don't know what the hell that means.
So I wonder if we get one per division. Because
if we double down on Star Wars, I'll shut the F up about Star Wars.
Well, here's the thing. So as for people who don't know, the other day he announced that, hey, fans, you have a chance to get in the Schmoedown. We'll talk about this a little bit more later because, of course, we got to do it. We got the fan league and everything.
We got to try. We got to try.
So it's just like, wow. He said a lot of the, and I mean a lot of the auditions so far have been for Star Wars. So,
which is awesome. That's actually really, really cool.
And so with that in mind, that's why I'm wondering if he's seeing all these, like, I'm going to have to break out the Star Wars division even more. All these people are interested in it. Why would I not?
And Star Wars,
and Colin, he has talked about Star Wars would expand to the Mandalorian. I'm not sure about the TV shows, but I do know he said and I agree. I feel like the Clone Wars show has to be put in the Clone Wars movie slice, though. Because that's all together as one technically.
Then sure, 1,000%. But no, like you'd have to expand on the Star Wars content and I was just about to bring that up. Like, there's only so much you can cover, and I know we're bringing back questions from previous seasons, so that'll definitely help.
Right.
But going forward, if you're gonna have a match a week in Star Wars, we're gonna have to cool it just a little bit. Because as fun as Star Wars is to watch, and I was thinking about this yesterday too, that probably my favorite match ever is a Star Wars title match, which is crazy to me because how much I love Inner Geekdom. I love singles and teams, and I've complained about Star Wars on this show enough. But if they double down on it and they really want to give it a week or a match a week,
Taylor Bibiani would cry tears of joy if that were to happen.
No, again, it's something that you'd have to do for question's sake. But no, if they do a match a week, then okay, I'll STF you about Star Wars. I'll shut up about the division and how and all that jazz how we talked about weeks ago on the show. But a match a week for every division would be insanity. It would be insane, dude. It honestly would be nuts. And I know we'll find out more later, or maybe at Spectacular or in the off season, because next season's gonna be freaking nuts. Not only with the growing match list, but the changes because of no teams in digital. That might be another thing.
I love it, Colin.
If there's a Lego and video game slice, there's gonna be a book slice too. So keep that in mind as well.
And I'll be ready with. You can't see it, but on my bookshelf right here off screen.
Yeah, a bunch of book nerds, and especially you're gonna have to include questions from why we love Star Wars. From our boy Ken Knapsack. So you'll have to, if you're gonna include books, you gotta include the book by one of the guys on the desk.
Great read.
So Star Wars. I will shut up about Star Wars, and that's the last time I'll say it because I hate repeating myself. But the Schmoedown's gonna be different next year. It's gonna start off different, and now since we're expanding the amount of matches we're getting a month, I'm so eager to get next season started. Now, I don't want to skip over Spectacular. I'll happily wait. I'll happily wait for Spectacular. I'm gonna watch all that show. And I don't know, like maybe at least one of us or the both of us, if time permits, we can do a special spin from the reel at some point on the channel over the course of the weekend.
We might do it after Jack Frost for all we know.
Yeah. So we'll see. But next season, not only with the expanded matches, no teams, potentially getting back into a studio if these vaccines are distributed around the country.
So I actually have a theory about that. I think we're going back to the studio no matter what, even without. And I say this because you look at what the film industry is doing. If they've got a studio locked down, they can do the same thing. They can do the temperature checks and things like this. Employers are doing it. Movie studios are doing it for being on set. It's just one of those things that they can do that.
It'll have to be extremely limited. It won't be as big as they were.
All right, it won't be. You'd probably just have the faction. You'd probably just have the main players of the factions that are involved and the people who are going to be involved in those storylines. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, like it'd still be no audience, and the audience be the other people there.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because it'll be. Yeah, because you won't be able to test. That's expensive to test everyone. To do those rapid tests. Like we see movie studios spending millions of dollars, TV studios spending millions of dollars to get their stars tested every day.
Yep.
So like that's not cheap. But yeah, I agree with you. I can second that theory that they'll get back into the studio regardless, doing something. But it won't be.
That would be a dream to come true. To get nonstop matches. That's my opinion, though. Those people probably want to see their families and whatnot. So
yeah, some of them have jobs, like they have to go to work. Or if you're like Shannon and you're a nurse, it's like I think we need some of those people to actually go do their work as well. As fun as that would be, a bubble. And I mean, like, sign me up. I'll quit my job to go. I'll go work for them.
Yo, Christian, you're hiring for the bubble? Let's go.
Like, if we're hiring for the bubble, like just tell me. But either way. Next season is going to be nuts. It's going to be so crazy. But I guarantee we'll talk about that more as the weeks progress. But Spectacular, that's on the brain. Spectacular is on the brain going into Saturday. And then post-Spectacular, that's when I'll start crying tears of joy in regards to Season 8. But that was one hell of an announcement by Christian yesterday. Almost doubling the matches a month. And doing the stuff for like all the pre-tapes for Spectacular. I'm in for what, brother? The bubble?
I think he's talking about the bubble.
Oh hell yeah, let's do it. So it's gonna be a good one. But either way, Matt, what else we got on the docket today?
Well, we're jumping
all over the place.
Well, no, it was literally we talked the teams tournament, we talked Schmoeminati, and now we're just talking about all this major news Christian dropped.
Yeah, and I will probably hear comment. Bubble Boy, like Bubble Boy from SpongeBob, or Bubble Boy like
Bubble Boy, the Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Let's go.
Okay. So next season, I know we talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago, Matt, but I have to beg the question again. Now, with all the stuff you just learned, all this news has come out in the last couple days. When do you think the season's going to start?
Late January, early February. It's what it's making. It's what he's making it seem like. And if you're going to have all these fans that are auditioning and whatnot, it tells me he's gonna keep, at least for singles and matches where there's no teams involved. Mm-hmm. He's gonna keep the digital element because I think he sees this as a way of, people are digging digital. These matches have been good. If these people can earn title matches, and then maybe they fly that person out for a title match, that works.
Remember on the show like a couple months ago, about like a month ago.
Colin, that's probably around where I was thinking.
I like a month ago or so, we talked about like the farm system, like minor leagues, and I think that's
Winston happen. Even said when I told you I was talking to him we were talking to him on his Twitch stream about it, asking him the day that this was all announced, and he's like, "Yeah, we're doing a farm system next year."
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a Schmoedown minor league, whatever the hell they're going to call it. But it's okay. So you mentioned the videos at like a little bit earlier in the show. For those who don't know, if you're a fan of the Schmoedown and you want to potentially be in the Schmoedown, go to the Facebook page or Christian's Twitter page or the Patreon itself. There's information about how you can submit a tape to potentially be in the Schmoedown. All the info's there. There's a lot to reiterate, so I'm not going to reiterate it here. But what I will say is that the cutoff is in mid-January, which makes me think a draft won't happen till mid-January.
You said the second week of January, so I think the draft could happen the week after that, or the 2 weeks after that.
And that's what
and
makes me think,
to me, that season start.
If that's but I don't think we'll see matches till late February.
I think
mid to late February. That's my guess.
Here, let's
matches start. When actual matches start.
I'm gonna look at the calendar real quick.
If we're considering the start of the season, the draft, then 1,000% I agree with you in regards to mid to late January, whenever the draft is held.
So
but match play February, 1,000%.
I think we get the draft, and then 2 weeks later you get your first match. So that would be February 5th, and that's kind of what happened this year. So we got the draft beginning of January, and then we got the. I'll be right back.
Okay, that's nuts though. Like I can't fathom the season starting so soon after the draft, right? Because I mean we're in sports, I think the only season out of the 4 major sports in America, for all our American viewers, that has their draft during the season is baseball. But that's during the season. It's like almost halfway through the season. Everybody else, they do their draft. They wait because it's usually in the off season. Usually, COVID really messed things up on that end. But they would wait a couple more months and then they will go ahead and actually do it. Nick in the chat, they think they will do more live stuff this next season. Live as in and he solidified streaming, or he clarified streaming. Okay. Do I think they'll do more live streaming? Yes, but it won't. Doing singles and not doing teams makes things so much easier on a live streaming aspect. So 1,000%, I think we will see more streaming. At least we should. The streaming stuff's a lot of fun, and it garners a lot of fan interaction. 1,000,000,000,000%. So I do think we'll see more of it, especially if there's more competition and more people participating. But that's just my guess. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong about all this stuff. But what I will say is, if they're waiting towards the audition or for the auditions, all of them, and you got another month to submit your tape, and they're going to compile a list of every single person that's draft eligible. That's how you will find out if you've made the cut or not. At least according to Christian, it's how he worded it. And then you do your draft maybe a week, 2 weeks later to give the managers time to scout you. Nick, you're way too kind. Thank you. Like way too kind. But it will give you like a week, 2 weeks for managers to scout you, check out your stuff, contact you if need be, and then do a draft. And then maybe 2 weeks later you do you do your first match, right? Or a month later, whenever it is. Because you got to keep the hype. You can't do too long of an off season. A couple weeks ago, when Matt and I talked about this, I mentioned that they wouldn't start till late February, early March because of no teams. So you'd be doing straight Star Wars Inner Geekdom singles for the first month of your season, the first 2 months until you get back in the studio, whenever the hell that happens. But I'm fully expecting a draft late January, and you maybe start 2-3 weeks later. But I wouldn't be surprised if they wait till early March to do something in regards to the official start of match play, or late February at the earliest. To me, like that's what I expect. But with this recent news, with the matches per week, like I'm maybe starting to think it's a little bit sooner, but it will for sure start in February. Match play will start in February, early March at the latest, because you don't want to kill the hype, and you don't want to, and you just don't want to drag. You don't want to wait that long. And something like this, where the fans are so invested in this, and they're such a big part of this, you don't want to keep them waiting too long. And our boy Colin Morris in the chat said they'll embrace Twitch more next year for the minor leagues, is my guess. I 1,000% agree with you. Twitch may be the exclusive home of the minor leagues. We have I think we will not see any minor league stuff on the YouTubes. That'll be on Twitch, if anything. Maybe they'll archive them on YouTube, but they won't be done on YouTube at all. And that's my guess. Matt, I'm gonna ask you this question.
I see what Colin said. Yeah, and that's exactly where I think it's going to go.
Yeah,
I think Twitch. You saw how well it did with the Star Wars tournament, and they have said they want to integrate. They want to integrate Twitch somehow going forward. Mm-hmm. You know what makes sense?
The
minor league live right over there.
Exactly, and I don't know how they do it, like production wise. Who'd be cutting questions and who'd be doing all the little stuff, but it'd be a lot of fun to see. As Colin Morris says in the chat again, interesting element is the Twitch affiliating rules. That is one thing. He also says can't go all in on Twitch if you want to be live or if you want to live on YouTube. Yeah. So, I'm oh God, I can't. I'm gonna double down on the Twitch thing. The minor leagues should be done on Twitch, like what Matt said. The Star Wars tournament was, I think, it surprised everybody how successful it was. Even the people at the Schmoedown, they're like, "Oh shit! Like this Twitch thing actually works." And they've had some Twitch exclusive matches since then. The Bachelor match was strictly on Twitch, at least in the beginning. They had it on Twitch,
and that's what they did with this one. You want to get the excitement of watching live and still doing with others. It's like a live event every match. Go to Twitch.
Exactly, and it's the minor leagues. It's going to be a bunch of fans. It might be. It's going to be fun. It's going to be. I think it's going to be more laid back. The minor leagues, because it's developmental. It's NXT. You're not going to be perfect.
And realistically,
it's going to be fun to see still.
Are these players in the minor leagues going to have factions, or are they just going to be free agents?
Yeah, and they can get picked up later. That'd be. Honestly,
and that's what we talked before. We talked about that before, and we had that whole 30-minute discussion on the.
Do you have a preference? As a viewer, what would you prefer to see?
I'd like to see someone without a manager, because then it's the ultimate proving ground.
I think even if they do factions, like say I get drafted to the Usual Suspects, Sam won't be there for my match. I think I would be there by my own.
That's the thing. I don't want that, and because in a developmental league, look at the NBA. They can send down a couple players to the developmental league, but that's it. Like
yeah, and as Colin Morris said in the chat, it would be like the old days where you represented your show.
And then we'd be representing the Who Are They Real Entertainment Network if we got in. Colin would be representing the Ultimate Schmoedown Network. Things like that. It helps you build your brand furthermore. And then eventually someone notices you enough. Hey, we're going to call you up and see what you can do. The NBA does 10-day contracts, 10-day call-ups. Yeah. It's one of those things.
And I totally agree. I think it should be a draft pool. It should be a free agency pool. Like it's a bunch of movie nerds who can answer questions about movie trivia. And if some of them take notice, if some people, like, you can even have a power rankings of like the top 10, right? Like you can have so much fun with this. If there's
you see in the MLB how they have it. These are the top, like I think the developmental league they need to model this after is the NBA one. You can have two-way players. You can send some of your younger players down. The MLB
so you think people should have factions then?
No, so here's what I'm saying.
Because if you get called up to the main roster, like, and they can send you back down, even though you're still hypothetically with a faction.
Is that what you're trying to say? If you or get signed by a faction, that's when you should. And say you're struggling. Hey, they should have the option. Hey, we're going to keep you as one of our bottom of the roster guys, but we're going to send you back down to the fan leagues for a little bit.
So you're anticipating a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
Some people may have factions, some other people may not.
Exactly. You're going to have that bottom tier where taking a chance on you talent at the bottom have the ability to go back and forth as a manager sees fits. Or if and this is the sad part, if a manager sees someone in the developmental league playing better than you, you're cut. You're free to go and let's see what happens in your own fish in the D League again.
Oh God, I don't know how I feel about because then you have to add rules about how like can you do that willy nilly throughout the season where you can just swap guys in and out?
No. And this is where you take this is probably the one thing you take from baseball, where you can only send someone down a certain number of times throughout their contract.
Okay,
That's the one thing you take from baseball. Other than that, it's like the NBA, G League, D League, whatever you want to call it, where hey, we're sending you down. You need to find the right balance between the two.
You do,
and I think
it could get messy.
Yeah,
if you just do it, like if you just do it willy nilly, as our boy Colin in the chat says.
A waiver wire is interesting, but that would work more in terms of picking someone up. But
do
at
you
the same
expand
time,
the amount of people per faction, or do you keep it at 10?
I would, if you're going to do 12 matches a month, 12 to 16, I bump it up 2 more spots. Like do 12 per team.
Okay.
12 per faction. But I think a waiver wire works if it's someone who gets on and gets cut by a team and then gets picked back up by another team. Otherwise, you should have the freedom as someone in that developmental league to have a team reach out to you. And granted, if you're only getting a bite here and there, at the end of the day, you're gonna take whatever bite you like first.
I wouldn't be surprised if it pans out like how we're talking about it. Like it's one massive free agency pool, and there are some competitors from each faction also competing in this. Like those are the last, like, let's say 4 slots, right? Like the bottom 4 slots or bottom 2 even. Those are the people you send into the developmental, whatever the hell it's called, and they compete with the other free.
See, that's what I was talking about. That would be your 10-day contract, your 2-match deal. Let's see how you perform in these 2 matches. If you do well, I'm signing you to another 2-match deal, like in the NBA. That third one, I'm now on your roster for good.
So we're talking like months at a time. Because those two matches may be 2 months apart from each other.
Possibly, but when you're doing 12 to 16 matches,
but that doesn't mean if you lose your first one, and you fall down the freaking power rankings, and you don't compete for a little bit, that screws over the manager at the same time.
Everyone thought it was crazy when I tried to put out there the thought of stakes, the last 2 teams of it. Yeah. No, didn't Christian say the last place team is supposed to disband?
Like the faction?
Yeah.
Initially, it was whoever's the manager, the manager at the bottom, they don't get to manage next season.
But then Ken retired anyway, so it's not.
And plus, COVID really goofed up a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
but Colin's absolutely right. The league is big enough for it. If you're talking about developing a D League, a G League, a minor league, you got to be big enough. And we're at that point.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like there's gonna be an influx. Like I know, at least the last number that he talked about was he had over 100 auditions already.
Today he said there was 263, if I remember correctly.
My God. And then I do not envy who has to look through all those tapes, especially ours. But I wonder how many people they're gonna take. That's because if you're getting almost 300, you will eclipse 350 come January. You will eclipse a decent amount because you have thousands of people watching your videos every week. A lot of those people are going to submit tapes.
Literally have a month right now, a full-on month, basically.
Mm-hmm. And the hype, like when that message got sent out, and when I sent it to y'all in the Who Are They group chat, we all popped from our wrestling fans out there. We all got excited.
Well, me, you, and Taylor for the most part. Taylor's like, I got to get in on this trivia somehow. Here, I'll give it a shot.
And that's a lot of people's perspective. They're like, this won't hurt to just submit a tape. It wouldn't hurt. And shit, like, who knows if this developmental thing pans out? I don't know how big it can get. Now the question is, how big's that free agency pool? Because you obviously can't do hundreds. Not everyone's going to make the cut.
I think you have that free agency pool cap out about 30 to 40.
I was going to say 50. So we're in the same ballpark.
Yeah, we're in the same ballpark. I think 50 would be a little too much because that's like 5 factions.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone's going to play all the time. So, and it depends on the release, how you do the matches.
Yeah, so that's why I think 30 to 40 is
I'll
like
meet you at
right
40.
around.
I think 40 is a decent number to start, especially like because of course in those 40, everyone's going to play at least once to start. Going forward, people are going to fall out because of they don't want to anymore, scheduling, or they don't make the cut anymore, and other people are going to be brought in. There's going to be a waiting list for this free agency pool for all the people that did make the cut the first time. You may be able to make it later in this season. So just to reiterate Colin Morris's point in the chat, like this is going to get big. It's expanding. This is getting bigger than just the 2 matches we get every week now. Now we're going to get 3, 4 going into next season. Sans teams for a little bit. And we'll have a minor league in the process where people can just literally flex their movie knowledge and potential and their characters and potentially go into the Schmoedown. So this could be and shit. Some people like yours truly may like the minor leagues like that. It's like, yo, I'm in the minor leagues. Like I like. It's already a thing. Like, it's like
I don't care if I'm in the minor leagues or if I get main roster. The fact of the matter is, you've got your foot in the door, and that's all you need.
And those
you have your foot in the door.
And those 260 some people that already submitted tapes, that's the thought process. You're like, yo, you just want your video to be looked at and someone to be like, yeah, that's good. And like that's the thought process. So just as 2 fans, the 2 of us talking about this thing, like, and you brought it up on the show a couple weeks ago. We talked about it hypothetically at the time, a minor league. Now it's coming into fruition, and I wish I want to go back and watch that show so I can see what we said and see if any of this.
We have the clip out. It's a private video because remember we set that to Winston.
So I would love to. Maybe I can watch that later tonight. But I want to see how this pans out, and hopefully we get more information around. I mean, I know we'll get in the offseason, whether it's before the draft or not. That's a good question. Because there are going to be people that go undrafted, and do they go into this developmental pool? Either way, there's some facts. There's some things that we know, and the only thing we do know from Christian Harloff's mouth is that fans are submitting tapes, and they'll know if they made it come mid-January.
I do got to say, I appreciate how he's doing it because he's doing it like the cast list or or making the basketball team in high school. Mm-hmm. It's everyone's finding out at the same time.
You're not getting an email ahead of time. You're not getting a call.
You're not getting the call saying, "Hey, you made it." No, you're waiting like everyone else for that list to drop and seeing if your name's on it.
Exactly, and it's gonna be. I can't wait to see. It's gonna be nuts.
Here's my thing: for those people who haven't yet turned theirs in or haven't recorded, I think that now puts them at an advantage because now they know they have that extra pressure inside of them, so they can. All right, I got to get this take this way, and this is how I'm doing it. It's no more. Yeah, this is me. Hey, let me just give you my character, and I'm probably gonna hear back from you, no problem. Oh! I gotta wait till end of January. Well, now those people who haven't turned one in yet, they know when they're gonna find out, so they can be a little bit more bring a little bit more confidence in it. I know we recorded ours. There's a chance 1 or 2 of us may want to record ours now.
Like some of us may want to actually just try it over again because maybe they've thought of better material since then. Who knows? Yes. So the possibilities are endless. I
mean, but like Taylor and the character he said he would bring to it. Taylor's is perfect. Colin's right there with you.
I'm right there with you, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
But Taylor's the perfect example. Taylor probably has one of the best. Well, we haven't seen the audition tapes, but we saw him record his, and I have to say that was probably one of the best auditions you could have.
Yeah, I mean, and for those who don't know, that's Taylor Cleek, friend of the show. He's been on the program before. His show Really Scared every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. But yes, so the whole minor league thing and what the Schmoedown is going to be starting next season is going to be really interesting. But now the pressure, I don't want to say there's pressure because we're just the fans are just trying. They're giving this thing a shot. And it's like, if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't, but now that, all these after shows are going to try, I mean, we're Exhibit A. These after shows are going to try to get in on it. Fans that just watch every week are going to get in on it. Who knows? Like our boy Leo Logan in the chat, he may try to get in on it. If they do, all power to you. Good luck, honestly. And I'll root for all of y'all because this is going to be crazy. It's honestly going to be nuts. So watching this stuff pan out, it's going to be awesome to watch. And if we don't get any info, then come the second week of January, good luck, everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fun as hell to see. 1,000%.
I'm extremely excited. I think this is one of the best opportunities that the Schmoedown's ever given. And the Schmoedown has given a lot of opportunities. They've had the things like the golden ticket thing and the perfect bracket thing, things like that. Those
fan thing in Orlando, the fan match.
That's the golden ticket thing.
Yeah,
but it's just one of those things that Christian realizes that, hey, there are people who can play and bring something to this league. Let's try to give them a shot, because I think the league itself, heard a weird rumor that the Schmoedown might be ready to rage. Not sure what it means. Maybe.
Yeah, Taylor. I don't know what that means either, but maybe we'll see come second week of January.
Well, shit, I forgot what I said because Taylor.
The Schmoedown's had opportunities like this before, but this is like the ultimate opportunity.
Well, no, here. I think Christian realizes that the Schmoedown itself has grown about as much as it can in that LA sphere.
Sure.
You have a lot of the people in LA that are just they're in it. They're there. How many more people? Realistically, how many more of them can you get? And I think he's starting to realize that, and that's why you started seeing known personalities such as Alex Damon of Star Wars Exchange come in. Whenever Steel was in the U.S., him from Steel he was coming in and doing Star Wars matches. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things. And I think he's like, all right, if we want to continue growing, I got to get out of this. Got to be local to LA mindset, and the pandemic's helped with that.
That's one of the positives that come out of this digital era, and I know that it's been weird, and the storylines haven't been as prominent. And as Nick did say in the chat, just to highlight that, Nick Mulbach did say
digital's going to be around
for good, and it will be.
Yeah.
And Colin Morris just said, "I'd love to call some minor league matches. I'm right there with you, brother. Let's go ahead and do it." But I don't know, where do I submit my resume for that? I'll do a pro bono. I guarantee Colin and I will do a pro bono. Let's call the matches. That's it. Just some of them. Just some. Just give me one. I'll do one. But the digital era of the Schmoedown, for the hell it's been production wise, the good thing to come out of it is that not only do you get to open it up to everyone around the country, Exhibit A.
You get to open it up globally.
Adam Collins. You saw the run that he had. My man is he's on the Eastern Seaboard. So there's been a lot of great to come out of this digital era. And we're gonna at my man. Yeah, I'll do it for free. Pro bono. I'll do a pro bono. But the thing, damn it, Colin. The thing that this digital era has done was not like everything you said, but it's also it grew the Schmoedown in the process. Hence why I triple down right now that this is the most important season the movie trivia Schmoedown has ever had. And when we talk about next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whenever we look back at like, yo, that minor league, look how much it's thriving. Look, all these new competitors and new characters and new fans have gotten the opportunity to be a part of the Schmoedown. Where did it start, Christian Harloff? COVID-19 made everyone sit on their damn couch, in their bedroom, at their desk, in their office, and we played Schmoedown. And now here we are. Granted, we're still in the year of our Lord 2020. This pandemic's not slowing down anytime soon. And we are talking about a minor league for this movie trivia thing that started up a few years ago. And now fans that are just like us, they're just like Colin, just like Nick in the chat, just like Taylor in the chat, they're all like, we're all getting the opportunity to be a part of this thing. And I think it's really, really cool, not only on the Schmoedown's part, but like the fans, even if you don't submit a tape, whether you're nervous or you don't think you're good enough, submit one anyway, bro. But this is the ultimate opportunity to be a part of the Schmoedown. It's really, really exciting. And as much as some of us would love to call matches, right, Colin? We would love to, like, this is going to be fun to watch other fans get the time to shine. Because the after shows are going to put in their resume. They're going to send in their resume, just like us. Other fans that watch every single week that may or may not have an after show, they're going to do it too. And it's going to bring out the best and brightest characters and personalities, because your boy loves some personalities. It's going to bring out the best that are Schmoedown worthy and bring them every single week on the programming. So to sum it up, yes, Colin in the chat, we are hungry. We're hungry as hell. I've had these zebra cakes right next to me this whole show. I have not eaten them.
And he's got a match that he's got today.
Do I? Fantastic. Yeah. Yes. So what I will say in conclusion, it's cool as fuck.
Yeah. And I think on that, that's the show today. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in and watched, joined us in the chat. Thank you for watching on Twitch. Remember, we got this contest going on, the last 4, and we're continuing it. The last 4 subscribers who get us to 50 on Twitch will have the chance to get a free piece of merch from our Teespring. Remember, we do have a Teespring, so yeah, that's the show.
We do have one quick thing though to say in regards to Spectacular. Although follow us on the social medias at WattMovies_Matt, at C Anthony Lopez,
and at Watt Real Entertainment. I gotta add that.
At Watt Real Entertainment. Maybe even a Twitter for the show coming up. Keep these in mind, and Watt Real Ent on Twitter. But on Saturday, we don't know if we're gonna do a special spin from the reel or a watch party on the channel for Spectacular. But what we do know is that we will be collaborating with some other creators, some other after shows from the Schmoedown space. And shout out to Suge Knight from Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown for reaching out to us and for asking if we wanted to be a part of their pre-show, their little tailgate, and we said yes. So I just want to get the time right. At 12:55
PST.
Central, 1:55 Eastern, where Matt's at, we will be on the Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown tailgate. So look out for that. We will send links out on the Watt Twitter page, on Matt's, on mine. Not the Suge Knight, not that Suge Knight. We already saw what happened last time someone hung out with Suge Knight, but that Suge Knight, I should say. But the homies at Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown, they kindly invited us, and we're going to be on their tailgate for a little bit alongside Mount Schmoedown and the Schmoes of the North, and so many other people are going to be there as well. It's going to be a fun time. You'll see Matt and I for about an hour. We're going to be hanging out with them for a little bit. talking spectacular before the show actually starts. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited for it. And hopefully this will lead to more collabs with other channels. Like what Matt mentioned, we saw our boy Colin in the chat. Matt has been collaborating with them, and Colin and Boggs from the Ultimate Schmoedown show have been on our show. So hopefully this will lead to more, because it's a lot of fun. This space has been really, really cool. So catch us Saturday morning with Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown. I just want to mention that before the show.
Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, wherever you are.
Depending on where you're at.
So that's it, folks. And remember, spin from the reel, not the peg. Have a good night.
Bye.